I mean, one ship should be easy peasy. I mean, this should be a joke. These poor skeletons, they're just chilling. Oh, they're going now. Alright, I'm just gonna go for a ram then. I guess you could get some shots off too, yeah. Alright, so you get shot. Good job, buddy. We have everything? Oh, what happened? You gotta be shitting me. Are you serious? Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with another how-to video. As we all know, that Sea of Thieves has put out a new DLC, it's Shroud Spoils, and has so much new content. It's awesome. But to be honest, when I first heard about it, I wasn't too thrilled. Just the thought of having just fog. I mean, that's all I thought that they were introducing, and maybe a few other things. And I was just like, well, I mean, at least it'll look cool, but what else? But I was pleasantly surprised. This DLC has been amazing. They've upped the encounters with the megalodons. There's now multiple megalodons, different types you can battle. The skeleton ships are now free roaming in the world, and the Kraken is now spawning more often, and it can also attack sloops. And it has just made this whole experience it's crazy now on the seas. It's no more sailing and relaxing. That's one thing I liked about this game, is just sailing and relaxing. But no more. This DLC has said, screw you guys. We're gonna get you killed and lose all your loot. So yeah, anyways, but as so far I've been seeing a couple of guides on the Shrouded Spoils, and they've all been really good. Like if you go check out like Fuzzy Bond, he has a really good guide up there, and there's a bunch of other people that are putting out really great content that are showcasing everything in this new DLC. But what I kind of wanted to do here in this video is to show how to do these encounters with just a sloop. I'm primarily a sloop player. I love the sloop. I hate galleons. I don't mind a brig, but I love my sloop. So with the new DLC, you're gonna run into different types of megalodons now, and they all drop loot. In my experience, the loot on megalodons are better than the skeleton ships. So if you see one, stop and kill it. In my opinion, the best strategy for a sloop is you just anchor. If you want to fight. If you don't, just run. But they're super simple. I'd switch to sniper pistol combo. And you can no scope the megalodon as it's swimming around you. As soon as it charges, you just immediately go down, repair, bail, and rinse and repeat. Some of these fights, it could take a while, but like I said, the loot is definitely worth it. And when you're fighting a megalodon, like, just don't freak out. It's very simple. Like in this fight right here, like I'm on a rowboat picking up loot from a Kraken. Megalodon fights can be pretty relaxing. You just got to make sure you just don't get knocked off your boat. Go immediately down and repair as soon as you get hit. And I think the most important thing is anchor, because if you don't anchor and you get knocked off your boat, and then your boat's going to start drifting. Another thing that could happen is your boat can drift out of the megalodon's spawn area, and then he'll despawn. You'll have to sail back into it. So like I said, just sniper pistol. It's fairly simple. If you want to conserve cannonballs, you can, but yeah, megalodon, easy peasy. The next thing you're going to notice in the world now is free roaming skeleton ships. And as you can tell, some of them are very passive. They'll just sit there unless a brig like this douchebag decides to make my friend go away. That dude sucks. But yeah, so skeleton ships, they're free roaming. They also still spawn in the corners of the map. There's also new spawn points out in Devil's Roar. And they can also spawn the skeleton sloops, which I have yet to actually fight and battle and kill, because like I said, I'm primarily solo sloop, so I'm not going to go into a full wave event as a solo sloop. But yeah, so these skeleton ships, they could just spawn at random. They can also just be chilling and, you know, sailing across the world. But they're not, I mean, they can be fairly rough just because of the cursed cannonballs. Each will have different random cursed cannonballs. And it can be rough with some ones like that'll anchor you, or the drunk one, or the leg breaker. But like any other fight, you can still run away from these things. It might be tough when they spawn on top of you because they're going to try to chase you. But the ones that are free roaming, you could just easily just, you know, sail away from them. But with these fights, it's always good to utilize cursed cannonballs. And here in this fight, I put a peace ball and then hit a ballast ball on this, and then he sunk quickly afterwards. They can be tough, especially as a solo. It's not recommended, I guess, to try too much if you're more of a novice player, because they can be rough. In this particular fight, I was towards the end of my session and I just wanted to pick a fight with a skeleton ship. But I actually had like 80 cannonballs and I ended up running out. It was pretty gnarly. I was kind of freaking out, but my favorite technique against skeleton ships is ramming. I like ramming and bailing water, but also just use your maneuverability with the sloop. You always want to adjust your sails, try to cut in to the ships, try to outmaneuver the skeleton ships, and always make sure when you're shooting, make sure you lead your shots, like right here. It's always good to I missed right there, but yeah, like I said, so skeleton ships, they're fairly simple unless you get a really bad one with a bad cursed cannonball that can really like disable you, and then it'll be rough. It's always recommended to have plenty of supplies, and in all these fights you need to supply up. If you're ready to do battle, you're gonna have to supply up like a lot before you go out and start sailing. But here I completely ran out of cannonballs. I'm down to 5. I said screw it, I'm gonna ram this guy. So eventually the ramming technique does work, but you have to be conscious of your sloop and how many holes are put in you, if the holes are put in the back or the holes are put in the front. If the holes are put in the back, you have a decent amount of time to survive. If they're in the front, then you know you got to be wary about it. But I like to purposely ram and put holes in my boat so I could grab water and bail on them. This technique, I mean, it takes a while to do, to actually be, you know, to sink it by yourself, but it does work. I also like to try to pin the ships and bail water onto them and eventually try to get them sunk, because at this point I have no cannonballs. All I have is cursed cannonballs, and then I glitched. I don't know what happened there. So I freaked out a little bit, but I was able to survive. I don't know what happened. I guess the ship didn't like me too much. I was just trying to be friendly, you know. This Sea of Friends, not Sea of Thieves. So, but yeah, anyways, on this last battle, I do one last ram, and then try to put a weary ball on them to put them to sleep before they can start repairing. And I actually think this ram was the killing blow. And so I was down about, see, like, I'm grabbing a cursed cannonball out of this cannon, dropping it into the left cannon. Let's go, weary ball, and then plug it in them and say goodnight. So yeah, in the sloop, you know, big things is make sure you have plenty of supplies, use your maneuverability, and if you're on a cannonballs, don't worry, you can still win. Just use that maneuverability to cut into them and fuck them up. The next encounter you're going to run into in the new DLC is Krakens. So the Krakens can now attack sloops, which is a big thing, and they actually have an added attack with a little slap that they do, which puts a bunch of holes. I have yet to see a Kraken attack me as a solo sloop. I don't know if that happens. I'll soon find out, maybe. So when the Kraken attacks, you're going to attack each tentacle with cannons or with guns. The Kraken can also wrap you. That can prevent you from getting down below your boat to try to bail it and repair. So make sure you have a dedicated bail person, one that's always, you know, ready to go to the bottom of the boat just in case that happens. My guy in my upcoming fight is Insecure Car, and he's been sailing with me from the beginning, and The dude's ridiculous. He's probably the best bailer or patcher in the game. We've survived so much stuff. I don't know how he does it. He's crazy. But yeah, this next little bit, I'm just gonna kind of play the game audio. Insecure Car, you can't hear his voice because my thing is messed up, but just give you a sense of the battle in game. Also, before, you'll see that we tried to call the Kraken, and it actually worked. So, please enjoy. Uh-oh. You called Kraken! Oh, shit. We're almost out. Oh, one's wrapped around. Get on top. Oh, I'm getting sucked. I'm sucked. We're slowly sailing out of it. Is the Kraken still up? Oh, he is still up. Alright, let me look at reputation. So how do we defeat the Kraken? Oh, we have to fully kill it? Are you serious? Holy shit! Oh, Megalodon! Let's get this guy. Take shots. Take shots with guns and everything. Get double guns on you. Pistol and rifle. As you can see there, some of these battles can be intertwined, so you can fight Krakens, Megs, and skeleton ships all at once, which make it pretty difficult. But thanks for watching my video. It's a little, I don't know if it's a guide really, but but maybe some people could take some tips and from this and help them out on their journeys in the new DLC. So just remember, just supply up, and you could always still run, except from the Kraken. But you can still run. Just run. It's after a while, people are gonna get, they're gonna start running, from megalodons and skeleton ships. But if you want to fight it, hopefully this helped. But just remember, there are plenty of techniques to these encounters, so these are just a couple of things that I do. So just pick what works for you, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.